The Surfing Violinist presents October Surprise Surf Vlog 34. On October 11th and 12th, the entire Gulf cooperated to send us a sudden surge of surf with favorable winds that hit sometime during the night of the 11th. When I checked everywhere in the early morning on the 12th, before work, I was bracing myself yet again for another epic skunking, because the inside looked disorganized and the currents were unpredictable. I wanted to nab a novelty wave at the newly dredged section of the state park, but didn't really want to risk a board, so I chose
Sponger time!
The llama bodyboard didn't have a leash, and I started getting a little spooked. So I made my way back to shore, trying to stay off the beach, not to arouse the annoyance of the guys pushing the sand out. That sand, by the way, the prior night I checked it, and they had big floodlights out. I almost half considered trying to do a night session. There were these giant bodyboard slabs right on the shore. They must have lost 50 yards of beach that night. There was so much surge. There was so much water moving around when I was coming back in from my ill-fated attempt on the llama bodyboard that I was in like ankle-deep water. And I think I was like waving at one of the guys on the overlook, and a wave knocked me off my feet, knocked the GoPro out of my mouth, and started taking it down towards the rocks. And Cody Johnson and Garrett Hine up on the overlook, and they pointed it out where it was. So thanks, guys. It would not be the last time I lost my GoPro that day. I made a second paddle attempt, this time with my Hayden Miscellaneous. Jesse and I paddled out at the same time, and there was another dude, and I lost track of them. As soon as I'd made it past, I don't know, second or third duck dive, I looked around, there was no one around me.
Did it pull you west, like toward the rocks?
As I was paddling out, I was going fast towards the rocks. As soon as I hit the first sandbar, started going.
No way. I didn't realize it was doing that.
Towards the dredging operation.
Oh, it did.
And I got caught in the vortex. I see you out the back, and I'm like, I'm not surfing this. I'm done. Sorry.
Well, it was terrible.
Well, you got out like that.
Yeah, but there was nothing there really. I caught one wave, and then
we were in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Yeah, it was not good.
We just forced it, and it didn't pan out well.
What happened to that other guy that was paddling out next to us?
He did the same thing as me.
So y'all got sucked towards the work?
Got sucked out towards the rocks, and then as soon as we got to the first sandbar, the first sandbar, we started getting stuck towards the dredge. And then basically, I was just in the impact zone. I was like, I'm done.
Well, I may have made it out, but I really couldn't find a wave. I got one left, and I barely went like even a section. I don't even think I made it through an entire section. Just like what happened to them, the rip pulled me towards the dredging operation. I had to paddle my guts out to fight it, and caught one little whitewater back in.
Greetings, lords and ladies. This is Surfing Violinist with your Thursday, October 12th, Mr. Surf report. Out here at the state, it's flat, no surf. Everybody stayed on. I mean, they're not missing anything right now anyway. It's dredging out here on the dredged sandbar. I tried to take the bodyboard out there, and ill-advised, I got kicked back to shore. Not by the workers, but by the current. And then took out the surfboard, paddled out over here, and got ripped, I don't know, to here. I caught one left, and it didn't do anything. And then I went over in this vicinity right here, and the rip is sucking out so bad to the west. I was paddling constantly. I caught this little tiny right. Anyways, not good is the overall estimate right now. A lot of morning sickness on it. Should be waves all day. There's a lot of mix match swell direction here, so I think there's a little bit of east still with this. Maybe with the tide it'll clean up. Park is not good now. Good luck, stay safe, experienced surfers only. If you're a beginner, be careful. Until next time, for the Surfing Violinist and for Daddy Surf, Mr. Surf's over now.
After two not-so-good rides, I came in and consoled myself as I went to work that the swell was too disorganized to be much good yet. John, Lib, Hunter, Jonah, and Garrett found some organization at the spot.
Wave you face off with, was it at the secret spot?
Yeah, well, definitely the secret spot, and it's always fun when we get to make it out there, and it's just stand up and go.
Were they connecting pretty good?
Yeah, I always like kind of the swingers that come through over there, and if I can sit in a little spot, that's definitely the place to be. But there's a lot of water moving, so definitely made for a little bit of a challenge here and there. And always fun to paddle all the way from the inside back out, and pretty much takes your session after just a handful of waves.
The treadmill. I heard there was like lumber floating around in the water or something.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of debris. That storm, it was really, that morning when I looked at the park, it was just, the seas were huge. You know, just not used to seeing that around here too often, and definitely seeing a few other photos. Definitely one of the bigger days I've seen around here in a long time.
Looking at the Calypso cam, I was starting to finally think about the long-postponed second sandbar paddle out. Joey Stead had the same idea, and he found some good waves at Bidawee and at the city pier.
Once you got out there, there's really no current, just kind of a huge playing field, you know. Huge A-frames coming in everywhere. Kind of had to get my arms back after that paddle. Took a little while to like pull the trigger on a wave, and I got the nerves gone after one good wave. And yeah, just me and Joey out there. By the time we got out there, I know the Merritts were out there for a little while before us, and I think maybe a little after us as well. But just some of the best, I think the best waves I've ever seen in Panama City, no doubt. Like, to be that big, that clean, no real current, and still be able to be in like board shorts and stuff, it was pretty special.
The pictures weren't floating in by this time, and I was just staring at Calypso Can, so I was still severely underestimating the strength and size of this swell until I saw Dr. Frank's picture of his son Samuel on what may be the largest wave face photographed in our area since Hurricane Ida back in 2021. I took this shot of Jonah paddling up the face of one of the largest mid-morning sets from Ida, and I think Samuel's is at least as big. If anyone has any other shots of waves since 2020 that could challenge Samuel's bomb set, let me know. Unfortunately, it wasn't all a gravy train. Even the second sandbar sets were packing quite a punch.
Grabbed my shortboard, paddled out, me and Tyler, and the inside looked kind of gnarly, so he went for the outside, and I just followed him out, and we got out really easy right next to the pier. There were some bombs coming in, barreling on the outside, and it was bigger than I thought, and still clean though, and man, I hadn't surfed any decent sized waves in a little while, so the first set was already coming in as we got out to the end of the pier. I looked over and saw the fishermen on the end of the pier right next to me, and the set was already there. I didn't even sit on my board, and I let the first wave go by, and he was sitting next to me, and I was like, man, I should have grabbed a bigger board.
Oh man, that morning we were like 8 or 9 pylons past the middle platform, so right in between the two platforms. Second sandbar of the city pier. It was first thing Thursday morning, and man, it was awesome.
What was the paddle out like? Was it easier by the pier?
Oh yeah, the paddle out was really easy. We just went right next to the pier, just sucked us right out, so that was no problem. And we get out there, and he looks at me and he says one thing. It says, my board's too small for this. And right when he said that, a set came, and he spun around and went. And then I looked back a couple minutes later, and he was going to the beach. I was like, damn.
And I turned around on the second wave and just dropped in, and it happened pretty fast. I mean, I made the drop. It was steep, and I thought I was doing pretty good. I usually get lucky, but when I got to the bottom, my board started kind of scooting out from underneath me, and figured probably because I haven't surfed any decent waves in a while, I stuck my arms back to kind of do a layback and try to save something, and that's when it just yanked my shoulder out of socket. I don't know if the lip came down on top of me or if it was just the force of the layback didn't go good at all. So I came up, and I was my shoulder was kind of sore, and I wasn't having much luck moving it, but I couldn't tell that it was dislocated. I've never dislocated it before, so I got halfway back on my board, and I was all the way out, still pretty far, but everything went good for me. A couple whitewaters hit me, and couldn't quite ride them in, but I paddled with my other arm and made it through the inside without getting rolled, which was amazing because that would have definitely hurt. And laid on the sand for a minute, but I figured somebody might think I had drowned or something, so I got up, and as I was walking up, I passed 2 or 3 people, and I asked them if they knew anything about popping a shoulder back in, and nobody did. So I got to my truck, and Cam poor guy was coming in to do something from surfing, and I made him like grab my arm and punch me a few times in the shoulder to try to pop it back in. And he was like, he was trying to help, but he really didn't want to mess me up or anything, so it didn't work. And I just crawled into my truck and got home, and luckily I was close to the house, and made it to the ER and got put back together pretty quick because it was hurting. And had one of those moments afterwards where I was just like very happy to have my family, and it not to have been anything life-threatening or worse than it was. So didn't get any more waves, and I might miss the next swell, but I think it's going to be pretty quick recovery, I'm hoping.
So how many waves did you catch out there after
I stayed out for about an hour and a half, and mostly dodging sets, but I just sat right off the city pier and snagged a couple lefts. I got 1 or 2 rights, but mostly lefts. Super fun. Just real big and clean. They were kind of hissing at you when they were coming in. Just added to the excitement.
There was another spot boasting some pretty heavy waves. Andy, Roger, and Chris were on the scene.
Lots of water moving. There were some peaks coming in that were double overhead, easy. It wasn't quite breaking like it used to break. The right that was coming in at the rocks was kind of closing out, but the left that was coming towards the rocks was definitely kind of like it used to break. It was really easy to get out for the first hour or so. I made it out twice, rode a wave in. You couldn't paddle back out once you rode a wave, so you had to go back in and walk out. And then I spent 45 minutes with 5 attempts trying to get back out after the tide had shifted, and I never made it out. And it was on my 7th try that I actually made it back out, and I made it back out one more time after that. So I caught 4 bombs, but got my exercise too.
So slopey liners and misto outside bombs are great and all, but where were the rippers? County Pier, that's where. Joey Knight, Warren Smith, Rob Stalvey, Cam Sadowski were all holding court.
So when did you first get there?
I got out about 9.
When did it really turn on?
It was already turned on. Like right when I pulled up, I seen Warren and Stalvey and whoever else was out there, just wave after wave. I couldn't change fast enough, you know what I mean? But then I started taking pictures, and I looked around, I was like, nobody else taking pictures. Somebody got to document this stuff. But it was all day affair. It sucks is like the few I missed, I put my camera down when somebody was talking to me, and then right when I look up, I see Warren coming out of one or doing sick turn or whatever. Everybody got good ones that day. Right. I mean, that's one of those special days. I want to say best day of the year so far, by far.
I checked the city and it sucked and it was too big, but it looked like it had potential. And then we went to the county and it was too big, but you could tell it had potential there too. So then we went to try the outside at Fontainebleau, and then Rob called me and was like, get back here, it's starting to get good. Right. So then we ran back, and then me and Rob just surfed all freaking day. I mean, Rob didn't get out of the water he surfed 8 hours. I don't think he got out at all. And then I got out to do some shit and then had some water at least, and then got back and surfed till about 5. So we both put in a solid 8 hours that day.
Stalvey and Warren probably stayed out the longest that day for sure. No, I mean there's a few turns here and there. I mean it was mainly barrel fast, but I've seen Warren get a few good turns. I mean I've seen Cam do a couple really sick ones. Sterling got some sick ones that day.
How are the jellyfish over there?
Jellies were lighting us up.
Who did get the wave of the day? That's a damn good question. Nothing's standing out to me. I mean, the morning was like a lot of dodging bombs. It was like unruly and like still kind of messy, but if you got a good one and you could duck under or something, you'd get a barrel, and it hadn't quite put itself together yet. But it was, I don't know, we haven't had waves like that in a long time. It's like it ended up being like those swells that you see in California when it's like 6 foot all day long and groomed. That's what that swell ended up being, which we wait forever to get, and we have to wait on a hurricane or some perfect low that crosses like that one did from, Mexico, Texas, crosses that deep, and we get southwest out of it. But for all that to come together, it's just so damn rare, and for it to be that big and have that much power, and I got more barrels that day than I've probably gotten like 5 years of surfing around here, like combined barrels in one day.
It's riding a 5.8 pintail, kind of like this one, a little smaller though, but poly, and it was magic that day.
So you riding mostly Cronin now? Is that your go-to?
Yeah, Cronin's been shaping me for a long time now. Special value in my heart, all these boards have.
So October surprise, our surprise October swell. How'd it go for y'all?
So fun. Yeah, just out of nowhere, what was the forecast to be 2 to 3 feet?
Yeah.
Ended up being 6 to 10 feet. So yeah, paddled out on the outside, caught 2 bombs, couldn't make it back out. So I joined the pack next to the pier and got my ass handed to me a couple times. But hey,
Who caught the wave of the day?
Justin.
Joey Knight.
Okay.
Joey Knight. Warren was in slim, like right behind him in second. But yeah, Joey Knight. I don't know. I saw Cameron standing straight up in a barrel, and he come spitting out. So between Joey, Cam, and Warren, they were on it for sure.
Justin said you were in a stand-up tube for a while. Like he said, it was a sick one. So about what time of day was that?
Pretty sick one. It's probably midday, I want to say. Maybe like 1-ish. Yeah, it was one of the bigger ones of the day that came through and worked out perfect because everybody already caught a few waves before and pack kind of cleared out, and I was like already right there. And yeah, just a sick drop, and then it's kind of weird because my foot slid really far to the front, and it was like super weird because I couldn't really pump, but I was able to like get into it with a ton of speed, and it was a sick one though, for sure. Yeah, I was pumped to hear somebody else saw it. I was like, shit, hopefully somebody's seen it.
Right, Warren addendum, so you remember.
Addendum, yeah. So Joey Knight would have got the best waves of the day that I saw. He probably had 3 in a row that were really sick, and the one that I'm remembering stand out the most was he dropped in and got like a really killer, almost stand-up barrel, and then came out and got a good turn. So it was like an epic combo. That was the standout wave to me.
A combination of major maneuvers.
It was. That's a great way to describe it. Exactly what it was.
3. I heard.
But they're all goopy foots.
That's true.
So they were able to set up and get up underneath it.
I heard Stalvey might have had the stamina award for the day.
Yeah, he didn't. I mentioned lunch and he just started laughing. He's like, I don't eat lunch. The surf's this good. He's like, then what are you gonna do after you eat lunch? And I'm like, come back out. He's like, yeah, but you can't surf. I'm like, oh yeah. So yeah, I don't think he came in all day, did he?
No, he didn't. So Karen, what about your take from?
Mine was not pretty. Like I feel like I haven't surfed for like 3 months. So I get out there and I just got caught one wave and then got tossed again. I was like, nope, I'm done. Save it for tomorrow. So,
Hey, we got some waves at the end of the day though. That session was pretty fun.
Okay, I'm thinking.
Yeah, the right side of the pier, the east side of the pier at the end of the day was classic, I think.
Yeah.
A couple super hollow waves. And then the next morning we caught some fun waves, kind of, you were leaving when we were getting there. And that was fun the next morning. Yeah. The water, dude, was like septic.
Oh,
Ew.
it was nasty
Like
small.
red tide,
Ooh,
like.
it was, super gross.
But man, all in all, yeah, what a surprise. What an October surprise. And yeah, so I don't know if it's as good as today though.
For the rest of that story, you'll have to tune into the continuing saga of the Sea Screamer novelty wave. That was Justin and Karen's birthday. It was actually Karen's birthday. Justin's was close enough, so he was honorary birthday. Don't want to spoil all of it, other than Justin dropped in on Karen on her birthday. But this episode's long enough as it is, so we'll stick to that October 12th, October 13th, October surprise day.
Oh, nowhere working.
Oh, really?
The park sucked this morning.
Did it? Dude,
Yeah.
go check out over there.
So, is there nothing happening here or what?
It's good here, dude. Like, if you can catch the rights right by the pier, dude, kind of line up, but they shut down. But, like, right where that set's coming, it should, a right will line up for a little bit.
Okay. I might try the right and then I'll go over to the left.
there's
Oh,
no
look
current.
at that.
So, bro,
Oh
you can
my
paddle
gosh,
back
that's the
and
best
forth.
wave I've seen today.
It's going off.
I might just need to go over there.
It's going off, dude. But there is good waves.
There's a way. Yeah, it does seem like closed
Go
though.
get you some.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, look. Look at that, dude.
I might try that right.
I know, dude. So it's like, if you
Okay. All right. I'll just get one.
So I was working while all this stuff was going on. I got off a little bit early, about 3-ish, and I made my way straight to County Pier because Chuck Reisinger sent me this photo. I hadn't seen any of these other photos, so I didn't know how good it was. I was just kept looking at Calypso Cam. I was like, it looks disorganized. There's some people at City Pier. It doesn't look very good. And then Chuck sent me this picture. The next 2 hours, I was probably useless at work. I probably was stacking things in the wrong place, and I couldn't concentrate. And I paddled right up to see Sterling Foster right by the pier on the east side. I opted to not deal with the west side crowd. There were more people on the west side, and I'm a regular foot. There was the chance of maybe sneaking a little corner in before it closed out on the east side, so that's what I was looking for. Sterling Foster was there, kind of manning the peak right by the pier, and he was saying he was thinking about going to the outside because there were still some waves out there, and he hooted for me to go on one, and I hesitated. I thought he was in better position, so I was going to let him go, and he told me to go, and I was too late, and I missed it. And I got a couple views, but I never really did connect. I got one little pocket ride that I thought was an actual tube, but it didn't really count. And paddling back from one of these, I was in position to get Sterling on one of the better waves on the east side of the pier, and he said, well, that was worth not paddling out into the outside for. It was a pretty solid tube on the east side of the pier. Overall, my performance pretty much sucked. I felt like I'd taken many steps back since that East Coast trip. I was not surfing at the same level at all. And I was just late and barely making them, wiping out quite a bit. On one of my wipeouts, this is what it looked like from the GoPro mouth mount. The GoPro mouth mount broke off in my mouth. I bit the end of the GoPro mouth mount off. It's the Bobo one. That's why you don't buy the Bobo one. But as I would find, it wouldn't matter. I don't understand how Nate Florence does this in Puerto Escondido or in Backdoor. Like, we're talking about a 2-foot Hawaiian wave here that broke my mouth mount on. I guess I just got I just got a good jawline. What can I say? And my GoPro went to shore, and Diana found it for me. Thanks, Diana. Did one more session with Justin and Karen and Zeke. Thanks to Amanda for getting this little clip. It gives you an idea of the size. And that was even at the end of the day. It was bigger earlier before I got there.
Where did you go starting out?
Started off in Laguna Beach.
Okay.
Just second sandbar waves. Just me and my friend had it all to ourselves. Easily 10, 15-foot waves, clean, glassy offshore winds.
How about County Pier at the end of the day? Was it pretty fun?
County Pier, yes. Lots of barrels. Probably one of the first times I've seen it barrel this year. Like really good like that. But endless waves. It was probably like the best surf day I've had this year.
And then the Lewis clan came out. Jesse got to get some. Finn and Rylan got to get some.
All right, so tell us, the October surprise sneaker swell. How did it go for y'all?
Sneaker swell was great. I checked many spots, and my old self found myself getting pounded. And
where'd you finally settle on?
I settled at the pier.
County Pier?
County Pier, and watched my boys surf late afternoon. Took my daughter to dance and surf the following day when it was very clean all day long till my arms fell off.
Sweet.
It was a fantastic day.
Who did you see got the best wave of the time that you were at the beach dropping the boys off?
Everybody was flying. It was such a fast day, top to bottom. I think Justin Buxton had a wave, a couple waves that were just incredible. I'm talking just flying. It was a great day on the east side of the pier. It was just an awesome afternoon too.
Did you see your boys get a nice wipeout?
I saw both of them get a great wipeouts, and I was so proud of them. My younger brother Jesse took him out. I had to go somewhere, but it was great to see that my boys handled themselves well and charged.
But I caught a few waves, and I was stoked.
I mean, Gilmore got a shot of you, didn't he?
Yeah. I caught a left that was towards the pier. I've never had a left like that at that point.
Right.
It was like kind of pins left.
Right. It was kind of bombing.
And the lefts tend to kind of be sharp and edgy, but it was opening up just enough to get a nice line. And the rights were staying. Some were shut down.
All right, so wait, what happened? What do we got here?
It was the following day when we cleaned up for us old guys, and everybody was in school, and it was really, really fun still. Perfect holes for us older guys. We could crouch down like this. It was a couple
The next morning, we had a pretty good time at County Pier. Of course, it wasn't just one that got away from me. It was like 21 that got away. Tyler tried to cheer me on to get out of this one. I did not make it. I tried to cheer him on to get out of this one, and he did not make it. We got some pretty views. It was really clean and fun that morning. I had about an hour. And on my last wave, lo and behold, another broken GoPro mouth mount. Glenn Thaxton was around to get stills of Karen and Justin after I came in, and I was so preoccupied with getting to work, I left my board sitting on the sidewalk, apparently. So Rick, Cody, Rob Stalvey, and Corleone were good enough to babysit it until I could come back. I was a little bit late to work that day. All told, a very fun swell that I underutilized.
Having the family and putting work first a lot and all that comes with a price when you finally get into some somewhat serious surf.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get back on it again next time a little better.
And that, in a nutshell, is the reason why I started making the surf vlog 3 years back. In that very first vlog, I talked about having to find other ways to stay in surf shape because of our extended flat spells. So for Ryan and me, the quest continues. I was skunked by poor spot selection, and Ryan was skunked by poor board selection. Here's hoping we have a chance for redemption sometime soon, but in the meantime, keep it consistent, even if the surf isn't. I also want to say a big thank you to the filmers, photogs, significant others, and friends on the beach who took pictures, raised their phones to give us so many views of this swell. We got footage in here from Glenn Thaxton, R.O. Smith, John Gilmore, as usual. Joey took some great pictures. He was, like he said, he was on the scene to document County when it started getting good. Dr. Frank got pictures of his son. Lacey Weaver got video of Joey Stead. John Gilmore got drone footage at the County Pier. I want to say thanks to Amanda Conner for getting footage of me, Zeke, and Joey Stead. Tally Joe was on the scene at County Pier, and he got some really good footage. I wish I'd have gotten some of that. So thanks to all the photogs, filmers, and surfers who are circumspect enough and patient enough to snap a pic before paddling out. Godspeed. To see these videos early without ads, join the lineup here on YouTube. You just need a YouTube account, and for $1.99 a month, you click this little join button and sign up to get early and ad-free access to 4 monthly vlogs. The surf vlog, the violin vlog, the Masala vlog, and the family vlog. Thank you very much.